the self or with relationships, but to to really be patient, hopeful, and to then prosper in those relationships as I am stable. And today we're looking at relationships with others. And the first thought that came to my mind was a story that I heard about with Dadi Janki. And it was a lady who was part of a huge team of individuals that was helping with a project, and everyone had gathered together. And this individual, she kept on feeling unappreciated, unloved. And so when she had met up with Dadi Janki, she said, Dadi, but I don't feel like I belong. I don't feel that love, I don't feel appreciated. And Dadi listened, and after listening to her, she said, okay, just today, just instead of wishing for that love from others, just give the love. And this individual then, took that advice, and the entire day, instead of wanting that love from everything and everyone, she held on to the awareness that she is love, and she began to offer that love to everything and everyone. And as she consistently practiced this, by the next day, she was all shining and sparkling and full of energy, and her thoughts about the atmosphere and the people and all her efforts going unappreciated came to an end. And so for me, it's a beautiful story of, if I want to experience love, why not start giving that love? And naturally then that love attracts love. And relationships are about love, isn't it? I want to just share screen with you. So Danielle, you'll allow me to share screen. So relationships really is about love. And so we're going to look at this, and Dr. Dusha also spoke about that love. And it's really the one quality that the whole world looks for from each other. And so love, and you will be loved. And the other problem that many experience in relationships is, how do I know when love is real? When can I trust love? And the real question in Dadi's response was, she said, the real question is how much others can trust the love coming from me. So as long as we are wanting reassurance of the love coming to me, I will be in a space of very little power. But when I begin to focus on the love that I can offer others, that seats me in a position of power where I am responsible for that love. It's not that I am dependent, but I'm in a space of sovereignty, in a space of mastery, offering that love. And so when I read this from Dadi Janki, it was so beautiful. So the real question is not how much I can trust the love coming from others, but how much others can trust the love coming from me. So can I be very clean and honest about the love that I have to offer? And so how much have I earned the trust of others? There's a lot of power in becoming worthy of another's trust, she said. And then you won't need to worry if the love coming your way is true or not. And because if you look at relationships in the world, there's a lot of mistrust in relationships. So it may be a couple, or family members or friends, but one doesn't know whether one can trust that love, whether it is real, But as long as you work from that space, you go to your grave wondering whether you can trust others' love. But if you work from that space of, let me ensure my love is real and genuine and honest and true, and then this power transforms all love coming toward me, however superficial it may be, into something lovely, pure, and true. And Daddy said, this is how God works. He doesn't wonder whether he can trust the love coming from all his children, all of us. He's just in the awareness of the love that he has to offer or she has to offer, and focusing on that, then just naturally being that love, it transforms our love, even if it was one that was based on wanting from God and expecting a limited conditional love, then changes into something lovely, pure, and true. And so really relationships is all about me. And so to foster that patience, hope, and stability in relationships with regard to love, can I start with myself? Can I begin that journey of assessing and being honest and genuine about the love that I have to offer, and just radiate that and offer that into spaces, and like that divine being never thinks about whether that love is reciprocated in the appropriate way. That divine being just shares that love because he is love. And then as a result of that pure, lovely, true love from the divine, we then transform our limited love into a pure, lovely, true love. And I just want to share the next slide. And so with regard to patience, hope, and stability in relationships, then Daddy shared that the most important and essential aspect for good relationships is self-respect. And so when asked how does she maintain good relationships with others, she said, to start with, avoid thinking that you cannot get along with someone because of their personality. Humility and genuine feeling of wanting to learn from others are very effective in creating harmony. The more spirituality there is in your relationships, the easier it is to have good relationships constantly. An awareness of your own spiritual identity fills your character with beauty and spirituality. It becomes a basis for good moods, good feelings about yourself, and even for a good atmosphere and vibration around yourself. And Daddy went on to share that there are 4 aspects in maintaining stability in relationships. And the first and foremost aspect is self-respect. And this is essential for good relationships. So a relationship is about 2 energies. And if my energy is not optimized, naturally it will contribute to a corrupted energy, not a benevolent energy. And so if I hold on to my self-worth, I then contribute to good relationships. And Daddy said it is developed by cultivating awareness of the self and raising your thinking to the level where it can tune into God. So Dr. Dusha was sharing about that soul consciousness. So can I develop this deep self-worth by cultivating awareness of who I truly am, that soul, and then raising my thinking to the level where it can tune into God. because that divine being just sees to the core of the soul as original and innate and eternal and beautiful as it originally was. And so, can I cultivate a similar awareness and thinking about myself? And Daddy says it's easy to remain in a state of self respect when you spend a lot of time up above with God. So, if I can keep myself in front of that divine and keep seeing myself as that divine sees me, and then I can develop and cultivate that self-worth. And she said that it is not developed by coming down again and again from your divine state of inner dignity in reaction to negative forces, internal or external. And if you look at the reason why relationships have failed, it is because we choose to lower our frequency, to lower our dignity in reaction to what others have said or in reaction to that harsh inner voice. And so self-respect is staying in that self-worth based on how that divine sees me, and rather than reacting and lowering my frequency based on how the world or the self, the limited self, sees the individual. And the definition of dignity is twofold. One is innate, and the innate dignity of seeing myself as I truly am. And the acquired dignity is a dignity based on how I see myself, based on my old patterns of thinking, or how others then view me. And I see that as my dignity. And so self-respect is not holding on to those internal or external negative ideas of myself, but staying in the true awareness of who I truly am in the eyes of a divine. And Daddy said, be very cautious of being affected or influenced by anything. And if you are so affected repeatedly, it means that there's some trace of weakness within you, and that you are looking to be supported by something external to the self. And so, is my self-worth based on my innate and original experience of myself, that soul awareness, soul consciousness? Or is it based on looking to be supported by something external to myself, looking for validation, appreciation, to be seen and recognized? So as long as it depends on everything and everyone outside of myself, my self-respect will fluctuate. And so she says, this is not an aspect of self-respect and true to your inherent dignity. This dignity is the true foundation of harmony in relationships. And so if I want to work on patience, hope, and stability in relationships, I need to really look at the first relationship, like we've been sharing throughout the series. And the first relationship is my relationship with the self. And Daddy went on to explore 3 further aspects to maintain that patience and stability in relationships. And the second aspect is harmonizing personalities. And in the world today, definitely this is one of the biggest challenges. You can have everything in the world, but if a relationship is not how it should be, or if there are challenges in the area of relationships, then definitely this is experienced as a huge challenge. And it doesn't matter what one may have in terms of all other domains of my life. And Daddy said that the 3 qualities of love, mercy, and forgiveness allow us to rise above this challenge. But to first of all start with the self. Can I have that mercy and forgiveness for myself? And with then love, forget the things of the past and move forward. And when I then develop that mercy and forgiveness and love for the self, then I can have real feelings of mercy and love for others. And this is the way to truly help others. So once again, it all begins with the self. Can I truly look at the self and listen to that inner voice and see, do I have that mercy and that forgiveness? The last second is as it was, a scene that has passed. And in this moment, can I stay in the full glory of the experience of self as I take myself into a relationship, and having practiced that mercy and forgiveness on the self, I can then practice that mercy and forgiveness in my relationships. And I can then truly benefit and support and be stable in relationships. And the next aspect to maintain stability in relationships is to look at helping others. Our duty is to maintain a healthy inner state of being constant, so we can bring this to others. We can bring this constant happiness and joy and love and peace to others, like was shared in the conversation before this. So what really helps in maintaining stability in relationships is the attention to understanding my responsibility. So like somebody who is in a position to care for another, they don't imbibe the sadness and the challenge of the one that is suffering and needs their support. They rise above that and they stay in their constancy, in their healthy inner state of peace and love and joy. And then accordingly, they can take that to others. And so another aspect of maintaining stability in relationships is to hold on to that awareness that I want to benefit others. I want to help others. And to do this, I need to stay very closely connected to my truth and know that I am here for a bigger purpose. I was remembering last December, not the December that passed, but the prior December, when COVID was just ravaging through South Africa with so many losses of loved ones. And it was a very difficult time that South Africa went through. And what really supported me when I was feeling influenced and down by the heaviness in the atmosphere of the city that I live in, I remembered that, if I am feeling this way, how am I really going to help those around me? And so I visualized myself in the company of a divine support, standing tall and offering higher energy, higher vibrations to everyone and everything through the mind in the atmosphere around me. So definitely, if I want to maintain stability in relationships, first is that self-worth. Second is that love, mercy, and forgiveness for the self first, so that I can have that for everyone else. And then there will be that harmony in personalities. And thirdly is to hold on to that awareness that I am here to offer the best of myself to uplift humanity, rather than to sympathize and come down to the energy levels of the world. I need to rise above and step into my inner power and offer that higher power to everything and everyone around me. And this is my duty. And lastly, the aspect to maintain stability in relationships is God's help. And I'll read a paragraph on that. And Daddy shared, it takes courage to remain forgiving, loving, and merciful. Simply by being clear that this is your responsibility invokes the help of God. So, like in the example I just shared, when I felt it was my responsibility to support my neighborhood, naturally a higher energy came into that picture. And in that companionship, I felt one could then bring that stability. And then because God, the one who is called the remover of sorrow, is with you, the sorrow of others is easily removed. The bestower of peace and happiness is your Father. It is His power which removes the sorrow and bestows the happiness. This quality of His will reach others through you. This is the continuous effort of one with a true heart. It makes you a true instrument in God's task. And so very beautiful how naturally when I rise in my responsibility, then I invoke the energy of a divine, and that power then removes all sorrow and bestows all happiness. And I feel like I am doing nothing. And this is a true instrument in God's task. And so for me, the wonderful visual of just staying in my self-worth, with that love and mercy and forgiveness, and then with that divine rising in my responsibility to help others, to support the world. And these 4 steps were steps that Daddy Janki shared in maintaining that stability in relationships. And if you will have noticed that one thing that resonated through this all was it all begins with me. And it's all in my power, this love in relationship. And if I want to maintain that patience, hope, and stability, let my love that I have to offer be something that others can trust. And then it allows them to reciprocate with a divine love in that relationship that is truly lovely, pure, and true. So, are there any questions before I end with the meditation? And today we can hold on to the awareness, because remember, we're practicing awarenesses together. So today I will stay in my self-respect, offering God's love to all. So today I will stay in my self-respect, offering God's love to all. And I think I'd like to add there, the self included. So today I will stay in my self-respect, offering God's love to all. And it would be wonderful if you could just emerge the eyes of that divine in front of you throughout the day. Like Daddy shared, true self-worth is based on staying above, staying beyond in the vision that God holds for you, not coming down and being affected and influenced by the many, many external forces that does dampen that self-worth, which then affects relationships. So I would like to now guide you through a short meditation. And so there's one comment. Thanks for the beautiful sharing. I will remember my self-worth for the whole day. So that's wonderful. So I'd like to now guide you through a meditation. And if there's any questions, we can look at that at the end, since no questions have come up. But are there any questions before I go into a meditation? Anyone? So if there's
Okay,
yes,
thank you.
yes.
Thank you, sister. I know it's not a question. What you said today uh, made uh, made me understand, a pattern. And you said that it means there's a certain weakness in myself, because it's hard to think, because you want to be humble, to think that I'm lowering myself to the level, but actually that's what I do. Uh, so I think, it is indeed a weakness to try and leave that self-worth, leave that zone of, peace and almost purity to the level of other people. And it's true, it does ruin relationships. So thank you very much.
Yes. So important to realize that it's not about them, but it's about me. And the fact that, I am being affected and influenced by people and situations means that there's some weakness and I'm looking for some external support. But I have everything within me. If I stay up above in the vision of that divine, I can be reminded of all that is true and powerful, because I am. And God sees that. And can I hold on to that vision? And then I'll be totally a self sovereign, a master of the self, needing nothing from no one, but offering everything of myself as an instrument, offering God's energy to the world. So thank you so much, Trevor, for that wonderful realization. I think it's a big, big, big realization, and so congratulations on on realizing that today, and see how you can fill those gaps. So that there's no weaknesses, so you're not open to instability, because that stability comes with filling those gaps from within and from a source, not from limited energies that are not true. So wonderful, Trevor. So I'll guide you now through a meditation. And so if we can sit comfortably and relax. As I'm seated here, I become totally relaxed. And I become fully present, allowing any tiredness, weariness, worries, doubts, confusions to just leave this body, dripping down my body through my feet into the earth beneath me. And in a moment, like this beautiful light on the screen before me, I switch on this beautiful light that I am in the center of my forehead. And I shine bright. And as I visualize my day, this light will keep shining. And yet, in my days, there may be times when instead of raising my vibration, staying in the highest experience of who I am, I allow external forces or limited thoughts toward myself to dampen this beautiful light that I am. But today I will remind myself, I will stay in my self-respect and offer this divine, powerful light and energy and love that I am to everyone and everything. As often as I can, I will take my consciousness above the ordinary into the extraordinary, into that home of light and power, before that source of light and power. And I will keep the vision that that one holds of me in my awareness. Before me, I emerge the eyes of God. And how does God see me? He sees deeply to my core of purity and love and power. He accepts me, and with so much mercy, so much love, He encourages and activates that unlimited light that I am. And so today, throughout the entire day, I will hold on to this awareness, to my attitudes, my thinking, my words, my actions, my relationships. Patiently, I will keep looking into those eyes, and those eyes give me hope. And allows that stability in the self and stability in my relationships. Om Shanti. Thank you. So it's wonderful. Collectively, we can practice this patience, hope, and stability in relationships. So if there's no further questions, I'll share with you some programs for the week. So this Thursday, we have a beautiful program called Love Stories, Encounters with the Divine. And so we will be having personal sharing from individuals in the form of storytelling and meditation, from individuals who have experienced soul-shifting moments with God. And then this Saturday, we will have a program especially for those who are dealing with loss and grief, and some very practical, experiential tools to come to balance with dealing with these very strong emotions of grief and bereavement. And so that is Saturday, 26th February, 3 to 4, with Raksha. And on Thursday, a host of 6 people will be sharing their personal stories with the divine. That's Thursday, 7 to 8, Thursday, the 24th of February. So thank you all. Have a beautiful day. And remember to stay in that self-worth and dignity, and keep those eyes of that divine just guiding you and uplifting you so that you can uplift and support others. Thank you.